Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English. Now, I want you at home to be honest with yourself right now. When was the last time you exercised? Be it at the gym or even a walk? Well, do not fret. You are not alone if you can't remember. Millions of Americans are not working out. But why is the big question, especially in this body conscious society we live in? Joining us to talk about it is Jenni Crumpton Ross. She's the president and CEO of Kula for Karma. Hi, Jenni. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me, Andrea.
So, why are mental health issues like depression and anxiety significant barriers to exercise? You think that would motivate us to do something more?
Right. Well, when we're dealing with the symptoms of depression and anxiety, we're dealing with a chemical imbalance, not only in our mind, but in our bodies. We have neurons actually all through our bodies. So it's not just our minds that are affected by mental health issues. It's our entire bodies. So we often feel very lethargic, we feel unmotivated, and we're dealing with a lot. Depression and anxiety are terms we throw around a lot in our society, but they're very serious conditions that can really drain the life out of us.
What about outside pressures and expectations that might discourage people from working out?
Well, the first one that comes to my mind personally is productivity. So many of us are raised in our society to believe that we are our productivity. We're not necessarily human beings with needs, but we're here to create output and to be successful, and that requires sort of to achieve the American dream. We're trained to believe that requires just Herculean efforts of 24-hour work cycles. Now, I would say there are generations coming behind us that have a little bit of a different perspective on
Yes.
that. Even for instance, Simone Biles and famous athletes and celebrities during the pandemic came out and said, I have mental health issues and I want to be transparent about it, and I'm going to take care of myself. So that's really opened up the conversation. But other than that, I think many of us have it very deeply instilled in us that we are what we produce.
That is true. Obviously, when you're at a dinner party or some kind of a function, it's always, who are you and what do you do, right? Those are the first two questions anybody asks. And that's how we
And not
identify
how are
ourselves.
you?
Yeah, yeah, right. Exactly. That comes later. How many
Right.
Americans would you say struggle to find, or let me say, make time to exercise because of work schedules?
Well, definitely millions. I'm not sure that there's been an actual study on that, which would be really interesting to see. I think between work and children and families, people really do struggle to find the time. And I think that's why movement really needs to be something that's nourishing for people, something that we look forward to. I think for a lot of us, we have this feeling in our bodies that, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get up at 5 a.m. I'm going to have to go to a formal gym. I'm going to have to do things that I don't want to do. And I think if we can flip the script and really start to say, hey, this is my time. I'm going to do some movement that actually feels good and nurturing to me. And maybe I'll listen to my favorite podcast while I do it. Or if I'm on the elliptical, I'll watch a Netflix show because it's my time to nurture myself. And I think, really what the irony of all of this is when it comes to things like depression, anxiety, mental health conditions, we tend to believe that this is all in our mind, that mental health, it has to do with our
Sure.
brain, our psyche, our mind, but really it has everything to do with our bodies. Our bodies are really the missing link in mental health care in America. And so we have to start understanding that taking care of our bodies and moving in a way that is actually nourishing is absolutely key. And that is because there's a big secret that isn't talked about in this mainstream conversation that I'm
Right.
so glad the Daily Flash is having. And that is that trauma lives in our bodies
This
and
is
not our minds.
true. Jenni, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We'll have more on this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.